audit this 4-game win streak, is there anything that you want to do better, or is there anything that you're lacking in, even though you're getting the wins?
Well, the one word I always come back to is consistency. Obviously winning games, and it was good to win 2 at home, having lost 2 prior on our home floor. But I think one of our team's greatest challenges right now is just being consistent on both ends of the floor, especially the defense. The offense has found a rhythm, guys in and out of the lineup, but when you have Jamal and Nicole out there, good things are usually going to happen on that end. But defensive consistency is what we're always searching for.
You just mentioned Jamal. You got any update on him to go through?
No, I think he's gonna. Unfortunately, his warm-up time is a little bit later, so it's that deep thigh contusion. I think this morning when we met, going through things in the ballroom, mentally he's in a pretty good place, and then we'll just wait and see how he feels when he completes his workout on the floor. But questionable. I'm hoping more probable, but if he's not able to go tonight, we'll get him ready for Sunday, and somebody else can step up.
You've been around the league a long time, and talking about stepping up, does it surprise you at all the number of bodies have gone out, but how many people have come up? I mean, you can name 5 or 6 different dudes at different times that have come up and helped you guys win a game in this first quarter of the season.
Yeah, and a really short amount of time, to your point. It's not like an 82-game span where you have that. This is 21 games. And we've had quite a few guys out with injury and illness. We've had 7 or 8 different starting lineups. So to see all the different guys step up when called upon has been really fun to watch, and you're happy for those guys. But I also think it's one of the trademarks of our team. I think for 8 years now since I've been here, we've never used somebody going down to an injury or an illness as a crutch, as a readily available excuse. Well, it's okay, this guy was out. That's never been my mindset or our team's mindset. We've never bought into the making excuses kind of ideology, if you will. So I'm happy for our guys. When somebody's out, Ish step up and play well. Blackwell step up and play well. Zeke step up and play well. And we've had many guys do that, and that's what you want to see. That gives you greater confidence and greater depth as you move along in the season.
Did Murray's happen in the game, or do you know what happened with the quad, or when it happened?
Yeah, it happened in the game.
Okay, and then any update on Jeff Green?
He's out.
Okay.
He's out, but I think he's getting very close. We had a very abbreviated practice last night, and Jeff looked really good within that. His movement, his burst, his explosion. So I think we'll be cautious one more time, and then I believe hopefully maybe there's a chance he can play on Sunday in New Orleans. But most importantly, he's definitely on track, and he's right at that threshold of coming back.
And then with them, they have a lot of players that are questionable coming into tonight's game, but how do you approach defending the pick and roll for them?
Yeah, well, one, obviously they do have a ton of guys that are questionable. We approach as if they're all going to play. Mm-hmm. And then when you get the final word, if they're in or out, then you can kind of make your adjustments from there. But yeah, obviously Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, going to be in 1,000 pick and rolls tonight. So we have to make sure that we are having tremendous game plan and personnel discipline. With a guy like Trae Young, you have to give him different looks throughout in terms of who's guarding him, as well as the coverage, because you can't let a player like Trae get into a comfort zone or find a rhythm. So you want to try to be disruptive as much as you can. I think they're 30th in passes per game, which means it's going to be a Trae Young, DeJounte Murray pick and roll bonanza. And our bigs have to be up for that challenge, as do our smalls. On that note, game 1 against Houston, we gave up over 50 points in pick and rolls. And the big takeaway from game 1 against Houston on that Monday night was our guards were never into the ball. They did not feel us. Game 2, we held them below 30 points in pick and rolls. And I felt it wasn't just on the big, but our guards did a much better job of being into the ball, making them feel us. And we'll have to have the same mindset playing against a very talented backcourt.
You just said you're seeing progress in Jeff. Are you seeing the same progress in Mike? It's a different story.
A little different. Yeah, I think a slower time frame. Definitely seeing improvements, but like Jeff was a full participant last night. We didn't do anything live per se, did some stuff against the coaches, but Jeff did a couple things within that practice that you said, okay, this guy's ready to be back very, very shortly. Whereas Michael obviously was not able to go through most of the practice, so we'll just continue to stay patient and support him until he's able to get back.
A question about practicing, it means absolutely nothing because we're real reporters, would be bothered when I ask you this. and you guys are running the Atlanta offense, why weren't you Trey Young? I'm expecting to see you out there running.
No, those days are gone, man. Those days are gone. I have a tremendous PD staff and coaching staff that John Beckett, Cam Griffin, Connor Griffin, Stephen Graham, Boney. We have a lot of guys that can go through the hell of a lot better than I can. So I'd love to be Trey Young.
You wanted to for a second,
I'd love
right?
to be Trey Young.
Coach, I'd like to ask something.
Please go ahead, Chris.
After the games, you have the stat sheet with you and you pour over it. I was curious, when you win a game, like we did the other night, or you did the other night,
We all did.
do you look at something differently when you win the game on the stat sheet? What's the first thing you go to when you win? What's the first thing you go to when you lose on the stat sheet?
Well, it's probably the same thing. You know what I mean? Because usually when we win, our defense is pretty good. You know what I mean? So I'll look to see what was that field goal percentage defense. You know, what was that 3-point defense? How many turnovers did we have and points off turnovers? How many points in the paint did we allow? Offensive rebound. So it's usually the same things. I mean, it's pretty standard. Like for us, at least, I can't speak for 29 other teams. When we lose, we don't defend. That's well documented. We have the worst defense in the NBA in our losses. So I look to see, how many points, but more importantly, I know that coming off the court, how many points we just gave up. What's our field goal percentage defense? And I think that usually kind of trends to, if it's a pretty good number, we're in the game. If it's 50% or higher, we got our butts kicked. And that's been, unfortunately, that's been the case most of the season in our first 21 games.
One more? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach.